When someone uses a medical illness to continue receiving spousal support payments, who from the courts actually follows up to see if that person is telling the truth? Well, the answer, frankly, is no one. This woman's attorney says she's too sick to work, but tonight there are questions over how long someone should continue to support an ex following a divorce.
0 time. It should be 0. She's an adult. She can get a job and support herself. Spousal support is ridiculous just for the fact that the husband has to provide services after the divorce, but the wife doesn't. She says that she spent her life as a housewife and needs some financial support? Okay, well, I spent my life at work, so I need my house cleaned and dinner made a few times a week for around 5 or 10 years, just so I can get back on my feet. Why is this so completely one-sided? She gets to live with the money that she's become accustomed to, so why shouldn't I get to live in the home environment that I've become accustomed to? And don't give me the, what about when women have to pay? Nearly 100% of alimony is paid by men. By large, women aren't paying alimony, and that happens by design because it's set up so that the one with less money is the one who gets spousal support. As feminists love to say, men on average make more money than women, which means you have designed an unequal system that is going to make it so that women are almost always the benefactors. And you know what? I'm fine with that, as long as I get the services that I've become accustomed to in return. I want things to be fair. This is all about equality, right? Or was that not the actual goal? Well, let's take a look at these payments.
Greg Czarnecki is frustrated having to pay spousal support to his ex-wife following a 14-year marriage that ended more than a decade ago. Court records show Greg was ordered to pay his ex-wife Helga $1,400 a month from 2009 to 2013.
$1,400 a month for 4 years in Colorado. That's $67,000 over that time period, which is an insane amount of money considering the cost of living there. I went to Colorado in 2013, and a house there cost almost nothing at that time. But 4 years is certainly enough time to train for a good job and work your way into a career. Surely payments have stopped by then. Nope.
In 2014, those payments were reduced to $600 a month, then to $300 a month beginning in December 2017. By this time, 7 years had passed, half the length of the marriage. In May 2018, he was ordered to pay $100 a month.
According to this chart, by 2018, he has paid roughly $92,000. That's nearly $100,000 depending on which months of the year those payments were lowered. What exactly did she do to deserve that kind of money? Because if you take someone's money against their will and provide them nothing in return, that's called stealing. So far, she has done nothing but ask for more.
Greg wants his payments to end, but now, 11 years after the two got divorced, Helga's attorney has filed this motion to not only continue spousal payments, but increase the amount back to $600 a month because of a series of medical issues preventing her from working.
Remember, alimony is intended to be something that allows you a little extra financial freedom to help you get back onto your feet so that eventually you can support yourself. Considering that after over a decade, Helga still needs money, does she sound like a person who is trying to work to obtain the ability to support herself? Let's get more into it, but first, if you like the content you see on this channel, then consider making a donation. Viewer support helps keep me independent and it helps fund the channel. Links to my PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar pages can all be found in the description. And also, don't forget to support me on Alt Tech. Links to my Odysee channel and my Minds page can be found in the description as well. Alright, so Helga Czarnecki claims that she needs more money from her ex-husband Greg, who she got divorced from 12 years ago because of some medical issues that she's having. How exactly is this legal? Why is she even allowed to file a motion for a payment increase in the first place? What kind of insane judge is out there saying this man has to essentially pay this woman forever? They don't appear to have children, and with child support, I get it. I get it because it's supposed to be about the kid. I don't think it necessarily does that, and I think it gets abused a lot, but at least there's an excuse. For alimony, though, there's no excuse. She's an adult, she can go get a job and some roommates or ask her family for help. If she's going to be a strong and independent woman, she needs to pay for her own stuff. Let's see what serious health issues Helga has that prevent her from working.
That's according to her attorney, who on June 8th of this year said her health has deteriorated in 2021 and continues to deteriorate at a more rapid pace.
Okay, they didn't specify a diagnosis, but there is a part of this letter that says a different document describes her health problems in more detail. It appears to not be the case here, but I did want to make a note of the lack of specificity in the document that NBC showed, because a very simple trick that liars use is to not specify important details. The more detailed you get, the more difficult it is to create a believable lie. More importantly, with something that is actually the case here, Helga apparently is still allowed to receive payments despite going years without proving to the courts that she is still sick.
I just don't understand why the courts didn't every year follow up with medical proof that she's still sick.
Thanks, Teresa. That's Greg's current wife. And yes, why aren't the courts following up with Helga to make sure that she is still sick? If she had an injured shoulder, that can heal in a few months. It doesn't take several years for a shoulder to heal enough for you to get to work. Though I'm not sure why any of this would qualify her for alimony payments other than the judge feeling sorry for her. None of this has anything to do with their marriage, so basically she is playing the victim and cry-bullying so she can get welfare money from her ex-husband.
Then in a court hearing a few days later, Helga appears sick, gagging and coughing.
She's coughing and gagging so severely, and at one point she falls down.
You okay? She fell.
No one is suspicious that this might just be a display to get more money? Coughing is pretty easy to fake. Falling down is also pretty easy to fake, and one of the ways you can tell someone is acting is that people who aren't skilled professionals tend to over-dramatize the situation, like this scene from Maury.
She showed up at Hooters. You were having dinner with another woman.
A friend!
A friend.
I don't see nothing wrong with taking a friend on a dinner date. What's so wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
That was way over the top, and real people don't behave like that. Just like with this court case, in a realistic situation where a person's health is actually at risk, she would have some sort of mechanism like a walker or a way of behaving that would keep her from falling. Helga is not that young. If she is actually in poor health, falling is really serious. Unless she uncontrollably falls all the time, to which there would be physical signs of, it is unlikely that she would just so happen to fall when all the right people are there to see it.
But Greg and his new wife, Teresa, say anytime alimony payments are about to end or potentially get reduced, Helga seems to have some major medical illness to inform the courts about.
Wow, isn't that convenient? What a strange illness. It only seems to flare up when she's about to lose money. That, or it's because she's faking the whole thing, and Greg and Teresa have evidence of that.
But just 3 days before that June court appearance this year where you can hear her collapsing, Helga's next-door neighbor recorded video from her phone. In it, Helga appears to walk fine and has no issues lifting and moving this black plastic water pond liner in her backyard.
In this video that took place just a few days before the court hearing, you can see her walking around just fine and lifting up whatever this thing is with zero struggle. It may not weigh that much, but you can see that she certainly has no trouble quickly bending over to pick it up. Not to mention that she is able to do all of this while she is talking to someone on her cell phone. That is not someone who has mobility issues and is a fall risk. I know this because I was a fitness major, and a part of my undergraduate coursework was in athletic training. Athletic training courses go over injury assessment and injury care, and we were taught to notice healthy movement patterns versus unhealthy ones. I also taught yoga for 7 years. When you teach yoga, most of your audience is women, and more importantly, people in old age. This woman, Helga, looks nothing like the people I taught who had mobility issues. So basically, Helga is allowed to lie to courts for a period of 12 years so she can extract $100,000 from a man she hasn't been involved with for over a decade. How long exactly does her ex-husband have to support her?
And even if she is sick, as people age, they get sick. Things happen to them. People get cancer. So does every ex-husband have to support the ex through every illness for the rest of their life?
Yes, that's clearly what she wants. It's clear that's what women like her want, and it's clear that's what the system is designed for. Because it's not designed by need. This news report says that Colorado law states that if a couple is married for 12 years, the wife can get half of that time they were married in alimony. 6 years? What kind of fully grown adult needs 6 years to make enough money to support themselves? There are plenty of jobs you can get with just 1 or 2 years of vocational training, and those jobs pay pretty well. Please tell me why 6 years of alimony is necessary. Like I said, I get it with child support. I don't like it, but at least there is some excuse because the kids can't go out and work for themselves. But Helga and women like her are adults. They can get jobs, they can train to get better jobs, and they can support themselves. Hell, most divorces are initiated by women, so if you know you're going to divorce someone, start working on your career before you file the papers. I have known women personally who have done that very successfully, and I know at least one of them didn't take alimony. If you are worried about the chance that he will initiate the divorce, then you can always train for a career before you get married. You shouldn't be getting married until you're at least 25 anyway, so that's plenty of time. Why do we need alimony? How about you be an adult and stop making other people responsible for your choices? There are plenty of other options to support yourself without taking it from your ex. The only problem is that those options actually require hard work and effort. You're gonna lose a little sleep, but you'll be fine. Speaking of other terrible things about alimony, because these payments are based on percentage of income, some women are getting a 6-figure yearly payout for half the length of the marriage. The average income in the US is $30K a year. Those people have figured out how to live, so you don't need $100,000 to find an apartment. And neither does Helga Czarnecki, because she actually already has a decent job.
Helga's attorney told the courts that she was employed as a caregiver in 2019, but was only taking care of just one client because of her pain and health problems. Helga agreed to meet one of our undercover employees here at this local Starbucks. Now, during that July 14th meeting, she told us she has 4 different clients, one of which pays her $2,000 a month.
She works as a caretaker with 4 clients, one of which who pays $2,000 a month. It might be dumb to assume all of them pay that much, but can I safely assume she pulls in around $4,000 a month? Cost of living in Colorado is not that high. That's plenty of money to survive on.
If you're qualified to take care of people's loved ones, elderly loved ones, you would think you're qualified to take care of yourself.
Clearly she can, so why is the system enabling her to siphon money from her ex-husband 12 years after their divorce? Also, side note, if you want some proof that these media companies are biased, I noticed something strange. It seemed like Greg's current wife, Teresa, was doing all the talking, which is weird because she's not the one being stolen from. Greg is. He should be the one who gets the spotlight. So I actually clocked it. Greg was given a total of 15 seconds of airtime, while Teresa was given 62 seconds. They gave her 4 times as much airtime. Why? It's because their primary audience for these programs is female, and that audience wants to hear how these alimony payments affect women. If they make it too much about the guy, their viewers will lose interest. More money to his ex-wife means less money to his current wife. Now, I have no problem with them framing the situation like that. Certainly, I spent a lot of time thinking about how to frame stories so my audience will care. But what I do have a problem with is news corporations lying about their bias by saying they look at everything neutrally, so it seems like whatever conclusion they came to is the most rational one. That's not how people work. Everyone has a bias. Every news corporation has a bias, and the people you should distrust the most are the people who aren't clear about what their bias is, or the people who say they don't have one. Anyway, let's take a look at what ex-wife Helga is actually spending the money on.
Then there's this video Teresa sent to us that Helga had posted on her Facebook page in 2017, appearing to show her dancing with a male stripper in a club. Video Teresa and her husband plan to use as discovery evidence in their upcoming hearing about the case. The couple believes this video is not indicative of a woman who is too sick to work and care for themselves.
Wait, let me see if I have this correct. You mean to tell me that this guy has to make payments to this woman who is claiming that she can't survive on her own, yet she is out there burning money at strip clubs? This is why I have a problem with all the forced transfers of wealth that we have in our society. They force you to enable pathological behavior because when someone is doing something wrong like Helga, you can't say no. So what you end up getting instead of utopian results is a bunch of bullies who are always asking for more and who are always pushing everyone around to get their way.
She just keeps coming back and keep coming back. So at what point we could have She said she wanted $25,000, but it's, you know, maybe end up costing us that and more just to prove she is lying.
This is extortion. Give me $25,000 or I'll use family court to force you to pay me $600 a month. How does the law allow this? How can a judge allow this? Please tell me why this woman needs over a decade of payments just to get on her feet. And by the way, I know Greg's current wife, Teresa, is afraid about how much money they're going to have to spend to get rid of his ex-wife, but absolutely do not let her get away with this. Spend the money or she will not stop. She will never stop unless you stand up to her. That's how bullies work. It's never just do this one thing and I'll let you go. Abusers always want more compliance and more resources. Teresa is possibly thinking about giving Greg's ex-wife $25,000. $25,000? Hell, I would spend $50,000 to make sure she doesn't get a cent from me. Not only that, but while she's trying to abuse me, I'm going to make her life a living hell. And you bet if I can get her for perjury, I would. So not only would she not get the money, but she would also be facing jail time. Now, it's family court, so I doubt that the ex-wife Helga will actually get punished for this, but the important thing here is that this is the kind of person that you need to be if you don't want people to mess with you. Do not appease bullies and abusers. Even if you lose the fight, your goal is to make their victory so painful that they would think twice before ever abusing you again. If you want people to leave you alone, that's the mentality that you have to have. Do not be a coward by backing down. Last, learn some psychology so that you can spot these kinds of people before you make the mistake of letting them into your life. People don't just snap their fingers and completely change their personality. They always display signs of who they actually are early on in the relationship. If you know what to look for, you can spot those signs before it's too late. That being said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Anyway, I think that's enough for this video. So if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment and share. If you would like to support this channel, then you can do so with PayPal, Patreon, or Subscribestar. You can find all of those links in the description. Last, don't forget to check me out on Odysee and Minds.com. You can also find those links in the description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.